I think we've got 3 more things to talk about yet for the evening.
Yes. So
Let's.
we'll quickly go through this, because after this Rumble, the crowd was exhausted. So
We had a very good championship match, which unfortunately had to follow a rumble with a winner that everybody popped for.
yeah. So
And
we have the
unfortunately,
Seth
took the piss
Rollins.
break.
All right. So we have the Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan versus the Bar tag team title match from Raw.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. This to me, I was just very disappointed that the crowd was just completely dead for this
They were
show, for
absolutely.
this match. It was really disappointing. Um, but some spots that I want to highlight on here. Um the great psychology from the Bar, uh, you know, working with both, JJ and Seth Rollins. Uh, was it? Where's one? Oh, I though Seth Rollins did an amazing dive to the outside, but again, no one popped for it.
Crickets, absolutely nothing for that.
Yeah. Uh, the Bar keeps staying in control. Seth Rollins hit a blockbuster, which was great.
It got a
Uh,
polite round of applause.
yeah. He also did his suplex Falcon's Arrow combo on Cesaro. Again, not much of a reaction. He also did a frog splash to the both of the Bar at one point.
The only
Still
way that
nothing.
this, the only way that this match could have got better is if they just legitimately murdered Jason Jordan.
Yeah,
I
which
think.
they
I
kind of
think. I
well, they
think. I
almost
think.
did
I
because
think.
that was the thing. That was the thing, and outside was Jason Jordan was kind of like out of it, and he was dealing with a slight mild concussion as such, and he then
It's the
eventually gets up to
worst.
the rope,
It's the
tags
worst
in.
storyline concussion I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, he tags in, and then immediately tags back out again because he's just not. He can't focus. He can't work and whatnot. And then Seth is like, "What are you doing? What are you doing, man? What are you?" Blah, blah. And then eventually Seth gets double teamed by the Bar, and the Bar gets the pin to become tag champions. And the crowd's still dead after that. It was very very disappointing that the crowd wasn't behind it. It was a decent match. It had a few decent spots. Although, granted, based on my notes, I only had a page of notes for that, which was a bit disappointing.
Mm.
But I did see that the Bar was working with, being the heel, kind of like psychology, kind of like team there by taking, you know, singling Seth Rollins away from Jason Jordan, and also putting Jason Jordan in a situation where he couldn't recover from.
Mm.
So, but anyway, that's that. Kev?
So, regular listeners will know my joy of camera angles being stupid to the graphics. We had the after Rollins coming out, we had Asen Arden, which the mysterious Asen Arden, with his short sponsored by IKEA, who came out. They went over to the. At this point, they went over to the commentary teams, the international commentary teams, and for once, Funaki was comfortable. He's got over his because every time you go to him, he's like deer in the headlights when it actually comes to him. And for once, he was actually all okay with things. And then the Hindi team came along and they tried to do sort of Royal Rumble like together, and then do like a fist bump, except
Yeah.
they missed, which was funny. The crowd being dead was really bad. Booker T started getting really hot with Cole and Graves. Cole mentioned Booker logic and how silly it was. Hey, Michael Cole, the rest of us have been complaining about Booker logic for a very long time.
So, welcome to 2017.
Yeah, I've just written notes here like not Roman sleeping with the thing. It's the crowd is just like not into it. blind tag, bro kick, assisted white noise, ends it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all a bit weird. Like I said, the of all things, the blockbuster is such a move. Everyone loves the blockbuster so much. The fact that it got literally a golf round of applause from the Philadelphia crowd. That's the most they could rise up their energy again from the Rumble.
Yeah.
It was weird. So that all ended, and the guy dressed up as Wally or Waldo held up a sign which says, "I'm Tom, not Waldo." Don't dress as him then. Maybe. Was there anything in that took your interest, Pete? No. Okay, and then we got the news that Fastlane is returning. Oh joy! That we wanted Fastlane back, like, I don't know, we wanted syphilis back, or polio, or it doesn't matter really.
Fastlane has produced some good matches.
Yeah,
It's not Roadblock
or Battleground.
or Battlegrounds. I'll give you that, but at the same time, it's like, we're on the road to WrestleMania.
We're in the fast lane. Get it?
Now, son. Oh dear. Anyway.
Hey, at least it's not Great Balls of Fire.
At least it's not Great Balls of Fire. I just thought that's great that they suddenly didn't realise that. Hey, we have to pay for the rights to that song. and they had to rely on King to sort of smooth it over. So we move on to what I've put as Monsters Ball, if they could call it that.
I thought this was another good match, which got burnt by Burnout, unfortunately.
Yep. I would definitely agree.
Although it was rather entertaining watching somebody get kicked to the head, and then somebody to the head as well.
Oh, beautiful. So, speaking of Burnout, Kane coming out to no pyro, it just looks so wrong.
It's weird.
It's so weird. I mean, thankfully the video effects obviously is quite good with the lighting and stuff. And then they didn't change the lighting at all for when Brock came out.
I'm gonna be more.
The same lighting.
Here's the thing. They've obviously cut back because it's a massive cost to it. But does that mean that there'll be no pyro in any WWE games going forward?
Yeah, we cut out. Owing to go to budget costs within the game. Within your imagination, there is now budget cuts.
Hey, it'll make 2K19 run smoother on Switch if they do that.
Right. So, thing to note: Brock gets super jazzed when he hears Heyman's intro for him.
Of course.
I mean, he was probably like, and they're doing his bouncing.
I think he was more doing that because Philly was fucking loud.
Yeah, but then he said raiding, defending, and then you see Brock's face. He just at the end of it, he was like, "That's me."
Oh! Somebody said my name.
It was so funny. It was so funny. So.
Ever thought of seeing Brock Lesnar being giddy? You just saw it at the Royal Rumble.
So, we start off with everyone getting into it. Kane tries something. We get avalanche, clotheslines. Strowman comes back to Brock and hits him with a drop kick, and Philly goes mad.
Yeah, no, that drop kick that fucking Braun did has been like screenshotted around the world, isn't it? Like that.
Yeah, it was like, I think a lot of people were surprised that Braun just didn't go straight through.
But he's been fucking drop kicking for fucking ages. I don't know why this is new.
It's just like this.
It's like, oh my god, I've never watched WWE television. Oh, the big man has done a drop kick.
After that, as was alluded to by Pete earlier, Strowman knees Brock in the head.
Just a tad too hard.
Just a tad too hard.
Yeah.
Somebody
was a little bit angry.
It wasn't a potato. It was more a monstrous potato, the size of New York City.
Yeah.
So, Brock was not happy about this.
Oh no!
Brock got up and gave him a couple of very legit punches, one of which kind of rearranged his skull.
Yeah, and he kind of shouted very, very loudly to slow the fuck down, while punching a man repeatedly, very hard in the head.
He got a receipt and then some.
Yeah.
He really walloped and Strowman was like about 10 seconds afterwards was sort of like this is all choke slam to Braun to Braun, chair to Kane, blocked by Strowman, and
it's really just did become a let's try and get the crowd hyped by getting all the weapons out match.
Which eventually it worked because the crowd was awake for this match this time around.
The fucking power slam through the table. Oh, thing of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Brock into the barrier by Braun. Braun grabs the steps and starts hitting people in the face with them. Strowman moves furniture about, which gets Philly excited. There is a goozle off, at which Braun wins. Strowman then eats 3 German suplexes, gets then Brock is slammed through a table because Braun. Kane shoves Braun through a table, and even Cole jokes about how bad it looked.
I mean, the thing about the German suplexes is I think Braun lost his footing because I think he was trying to pull off the same thing he did on the house show where he got Germaned and then just stood back up, but it looked like he lost his footing and fell down against the ropes.
No, it was Braun going through the table. He basically sort of like just sort of threw himself a little bit through the table, and even Cole called that as being like, "What's up with him?" Oh, it's Braun. Basically, it's Braun. No one knows what he thinks. Like maybe he just wanted to go through one for the hell of it.
Why not? You have a table, and you have a table, and I'll have a table.
Chokeslam to Kane, broken up at 5 to Kane. Strowman picks Brock up out of the pin with a waistlock and German suplexes him because Braun. Bad news, Gable. You're not going to be able to do that anymore. You're not allowed to. Strowman's claimed it. The crowd obviously is still tired as hell. Cole continues to worry about Braun being near them, understandably from a storyline perspective.
Yep.
The German announce table gets an F5 to Strowman through it. Brock tips the US announce table onto Braun's face. Mm-hmm. Oh, he tips it over and it lands on his face. Mm-hmm. And then F5s came through the Spanish announce table. I think it's the Spanish announce table still, that one there.
So that was the hat trick of announcer tables all
the announce tables are officially dead in the space of about a minute and a half.
Except, as you see later on, they've learned how to put them back together.
The Kane one just sort of fell up. Kane hit the table. It didn't fall apart. It sort of just did a sort of gentle fall apart. And it looked more painful that way, oddly enough. Braun is not happy with this table in his face, so he pushes the table up and over off of his face with very little effort indeed. Gets up. Brock is amused by this and just sort of does a almost action movie like leap off of the stairs. You can see it going to slow motion. Like it's like the superhero, a real Superman punch, very cinematic. They get into it. There's a power slam. They get back into the ring. Power slam by Braun. Gets up out of it, doesn't pin Brock, and demands that Brock get up. Brock does so and is given another power slam for good measure, but Kane's in with the chair, waffles Strowman out of the ring. Kane calls for the tombstone after putting the steel chair down, suggesting perhaps a steel chair assisted one. But this is WWE, so he's just brought the chair in, so he's not going to be able to use it. Brock counters, pushes Kane into Braun, who has got back on the apron. F5s Kane into the steel chair. Lesnar retains. Braun is upset. by this. And
You didn't beat me.
You didn't beat me, and then Brock's like on the ramp, but just sort of going, "It's a triple threat." I kind of did. It's like, "You didn't pin me," and it's like, "That's not how this game works, son."
And so the saga of Braun and
He's not finished with you. Yes. He's not finished with me. He's not finished with any of us.
So
he's not finished with his storyline.
So what do you reckon the chances are going to be that it's going to be a triple threat at Mania? And again, it's going to be Braun remains unpinned.
Absolutely not. Brock will get pinned this time.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it'll be a triple threat at Mania, and
I don't even think it will be a triple threat.
No, I don't think it'll be a triple threat. I think they'll have considered it, and I'm willing to bet that Vince has gone, "Yes, we'll do that" at one point in time,
and then changed his mind literally.
Back and forth, and
yeah.
it'll end up being what they planned all along.
Yeah, and everyone will not care.
Last one that we all knew.
Yeah, I got nothing to add on that match. I did actually enjoy it, but yeah, nothing to add on that. It's decent, kind of like Carnage Brawl, essentially. That's what it was, and of course the predictable winner won. So, and in the predictable predicament. So, yeah. Pete.
It was an alright match, serviceable. I enjoyed it. Can't say I was too unhappy with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's time for history, making history. With the
it's historical
history. Here comes the Women's Rumble, and for some godforsaken reason, Maria, what's her name?
Menounos.
Yeah, who the fuck was she?
She's an announcer of.
No,
She's some sort of reporter slash fan slash.
Did she also pay to be there?
Quite possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
Quite possibly. All I could think of was we could have had Lillian for this, and it would have been very appropriate.
Yeah.
Lillian would have been way better.
Would have been way better. First of all, though, we get Stephanie coming out, and the lengths that the commentary team go to put over Steph.
Yeah, but
is absolutely sickening.
Yeah, but they also couldn't have the diversity of having a black guy and a woman. They had to have one or the other.
In fairness, you've lost Booker T or Saxton
for Stephanie McMahon,
as opposed to losing Graves, and I kind of agree with that.
I'll be honest though, with the commentary that we actually ended up with the Rumble, I would prefer to have fucking Saxton over fucking Cole, because at least then you could have had Graves and Saxton in rather than Graves and Cole, because Stephanie provided fucking zero.
Of course she didn't.
Oh no, but it's seriously, if you watch it, the amount that as she looks to me, the amount of just ass kissing that Steph gets is horrendous. She gets hugs for Cole and Graves, which I actually thought was interesting in a strange way, because it was like, oh, we've got women's division Stephanie, who is not a heel, except she is, and
and she's also the boss.
Yeah. But and then it goes on to the first two competitors, who are
number 1, Sasha Banks as Wonder Woman.
Indeed.
Boom! Get your own fucking gimmick.
And then number 2 was my girl, Becky Lynch.
Can I talk to you about Rocket League for a minute? I think it's very important to talk about Rocket League as opposed to talking about Becky Lynch, who's coming out right this minute.
Yeah, I didn't really like.
Could you have waited a little bit before throwing that in? Like,
they gotta get their advertisements in, Kev.
Before the bell starts saying "do the whole" and Royal Rumble is brought to you by Rocket League, as opposed to interrupting Becky's introduction.
It was brought to us by Rocket League. Who the fuck knew?
It was. I'm sorry, that really pissed me off.
Oh, I can understand.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So anyway,
The,
yeah, you were gonna say?
so good back and forth.
Yes.
Initially, there was a backstabber which was blocked. Sasha gets arm dragged all over the place. But never mind that on commentary because we've got to talk about Stephanie McMahon. And
Yeah.
it's silly. And eventually we get to number 3, who was
Sarah Logan of
Okay.
of Absolution.
Absolution. This is a direct quote. Okay, from the fact sheet that they totally didn't have. Sarah Logan, says Cole, has an interesting background. She comes from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, Kev. Sorry.
All right. Is it that bad?
Double face bomb.
I thought you were legitimately like gonna have to go off somewhere. Just go off for a walk to contact. Yeah. She's got an interesting background. She comes from Kentucky, and then and apparently she sees herself as a backwoods girl. No, I honestly thought he calls it backwoods girl.
Jeez
So,
Louise.
yes, but she sees her as a backwoods. That's the best you can come up with, apparently. In that entire thing. Yeah,
Nothing.
I don't know.
Number 4, Mandy Rose from Absolution.
Paige's music goes off because Absolution.
Yeah.
Philly gets really excited, then realizes that it's not Paige.
No, it's not Paige. But moving on
Here's some
to
music for some people that we haven't really worked out for yet.
Before we do, in fairness, Cole and Steph do go to length to put over Paige as one of the people who was responsible for getting his division to that point, which was actually a very nice touch.
Have you noticed how much throughout most of this Rumble it ends up being them directing about history of specific things and Stephanie correcting them to how it's history of all 30 women that are in the Rumble? Do you know how many times that popped up over the course of the year?
Quite a few. There's a running knee. There's a running knee to Banks by Mandy Rose. Graves brings up. Graves actually brings up how Absolution and the Riot Squad are going to interact with each other because they're basically the same thing. Just happens to be on Raw and SmackDown. But that brings out number 5.
Lita. So fuck you, Rose, man. No, fuck you, Rose, man. She got a really good pop from the crowd there.
She would.
Aye. She then would eliminate Mandy Rose, but I forgot. Well, I forgot. Sarah Logan is the Riot Squad. Mandy Rose is Absolution. Yeah. Sorry, made that mistake. Number 6. Another NXT kind of like surprise, and another favorite of mine, Kairi Sane.
As I put it in my notes, the pop-up pirate is here, but where's her wheel?
Well,
Now,
she couldn't take it with her.
I enjoyed this because I knew who Kairi Sane was, but I've never really seen any of her stuff. So
Well, you got to see a lot of her stuff because she was dominating in that moment she was in there.
Mm-hmm.
They put over the elbow like crazy before she did it.
No, absolutely.
But before that though, Cole brings up on commentary that on Lita's arm is the names of all those who couldn't enter and pave the way.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if it's a surprise, Cole, you won't have that information. Just saying. Interestingly, when Cole finishes the list, Steph makes sure that added to it is China.
Mm-hmm. Which was odd in itself because it's the first real mention of China since
On WWE TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trips has mentioned her once
in
I think.
interviews. but on live TV,
on
on
live
live
TV in
programming,
China, and called it the Ninth Wonder of the World.
which makes me
before
think
the
that
deal.
she's going to be the dead inductee.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right, back to the match. Kairi Sane's a very unique takedown on Banks, sort of underneath, leg from behind thing that was quite good. Hits Banks with a diving cutter neck breaker thing.
A diamond cutter.
A diving cutter.
Diving.
Cutter neck breaker type situation. Becky eats the elbow, and out comes
Number 7, Tamina.
She hits people.
Yes, she does. But who else was hitting people was Lita with her very dangerous moonsaults. My God, stop doing that, please. God.
She just got over.
Yeah. She could have easily necked herself there. I'm surprised she didn't. But she would be good enough to eliminate Tamina from the match. So thanks, Tamina. Thanks for coming by. But then she would get eliminated by Becky Lynch afterwards. So.
I was kind of sad. Bayley didn't get a chance to face Lita, because that would have been a little thing historically.
Number 8, Dana Brooke. Silence.
It's a shame. She came in, hit a good drop kick, a really nice handspring elbow to Sasha.
Yeah. And would then eventually eliminate Kairi Sane from the match.
And considering Philly was not happy that Lita was eliminated, Kairi Sane being eliminated straight afterwards, they were very displeased at this.
Yeah, they were not happy.
Do you know what I think Dana Brooke needs while we're at this point, before we go much further? I think she needs what Bayley needed, which is to go back down to NXT and rebuild herself, and then come back up.
You mean not Bayley? You mean?
Yeah, no. Bayley was on the main roster, and then she got sent back down, and then she started.
You mean Emma?
No, I mean Bayley. Because
when has Bayley been back down at NXT?
Bayley, well, years ago. She came up. She was on there. She did the whole hugging thing, and then she went back down to NXT.
Kevin, do you remember this?
No, I agree with you. I think it's Emma.
Yeah.
Because she had the thing, and then went back.
She was with Santino Marella, and then Santino Marella injured himself, and he was off the card. And Emma was floundering, so she went back to NXT, and she got the bad girl gimmick, came back with Dana Brooke.
We can look this up another time.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
my point is that Dana needs to fuck off to NXT.
Yes, she does. She needs a repackaging, and
she got brought
really
up too early.
Yeah, she did get brought up too early.
She got brought up too early and dumped by Charlotte in a shitty storyline, and then
well, she was brought up with Emma, but Emma got injured.
Was that at the expense of Bayley as well? Because she was the ones who came up. They were the ones who came up, and Bayley was left behind, and everyone was like, "Oh." Which is just as well, because she and Finn basically carried NXT between them for about 5 months or 4 months.
Yeah.
And then we have number 9,
Tori Wilson.
My notes here is this will go well. It's also at this point I realised that Logan was cosplaying as Nydia. If you remember Nydia's outfit that she wore for a long time, it looked very similar.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, that is a good point. Oh, I've forgotten all about her. Eventually Tori Wilson would eliminate Dana Brooke before number 10. Sonya Deville of Absolution.
again.
Sonya Deville.
Yeah, there it is.
She doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. She has a lot of promise, but unfortunately, they just haven't made the waves on SmackDown. Like she's not an imposing threat. She does come in and beat the shit out of Sasha Banks.
I mean, she should walk in anywhere and beat the shit out of anybody. But what I'm saying is that she's gone into this and they've just not been a credible threat as a solo individual on a house show yet.
But she does eliminate Tori Wilson in this match.
And Philly is not happy at all. They're even more upset about Tori Wilson going out than Lita.
Oh God,
Are insane.
this crowd is weird.
At this point, Steph says during everything going on, Becky told me her gear represents the future. No, it fucking doesn't.
It's steampunk, you idiot.
It's just like, yeah, I know. Also, Becky, because she's an Irish lass kicker, actually tries to get into it with Deville. This, she kind of holds her own. Number 11.
Yep, Liv Morgan from the Riot Squad.
Who is cosplaying as Alexa Bliss, cosplaying as Harley Quinn.
Yeah. That seems to be the style that the Riot Squad's going for.
It's at this point that I think the commentary team would have just been better off being Stephanie, Charlotte, and Alexa. I think I just switched off on the commentary of just fucking Cole and Corey at this point.
Yeah.
Stephanie wasn't adding anything to the conversation, and just Corey and Michael were being fucking dumb as balls. Sorry, they were being fucking weak!
Okay. Number 12.
Molly Holly.
Made the Rumble for me.
Yeah, no, she was good. Absolutely.
I'm actually surprised that she wasn't as Mighty Molly, being that we had Hurricane Helms.
Which the commentary pointed out.
Yeah.
Which commentary pointed out. I've just got Molly Holly, fuck yes. She looks in amazing shape.
Mm-hmm.
Then in brackets, wait, she was trained by Malenko and Finley?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, girl.
She was a hard one, she was.
She snap suplexes Becky, and it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
She eliminates Logan, then goes up top and only hits the fucking Molly go round on Banks.
Wow.
I
hate how smarky the crowd gets after this for a couple of.
This is true, but at the same time, but Molly's not done this for a very long time.
Oh no, absolutely not. But you can tell that the women that have been told well in advance, and they've got themselves in some really, not that they're not in good shape anyway, but like they've got the practice in and they've warmed up and they've not come in. They haven't shown ring rust.
Mm-hmm.
Deville and Morgan then punch it out for a bit, and it doesn't matter. So Becky comes along and just starts suplexing people because she's fed up. Leading on to number 13 and
Lana.
Rusev Day.
Yeah, Rusev Day.
Deafening Rusev Day chants.
She really got into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she gets in the ring and starts getting sort of pushed around by Morgan and Deville. Steph seems really annoyed by Rusev Day. On the
I don't think she understands it.
Yeah,
wow.
It was
talking like a true McMahon.
It was one of the few times her vocal tone slipped back into "I'm actually bitch" Stephanie McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
And
it could be because it was
confusing.
I mean, this is why the crowd being as smarky as they are, because they're obviously doing the chants like this. She's obviously into it because it's my boy Rusev. You know, he's over in the crowd. And it's really the first time she gets to see that stuff. But like Stephanie obviously wants it to be about the women, and I think that's why she's got pissed off with the crowd about it.
So after getting sort of pushed and slapped around a bit,
she fights back.
Lana snaps.
Yeah.
And oh boy, is it wonderful! She takes down Morgan. Oh, she slaps the bejesus out of Deville, like knocks her down. And Philly's like, what the hell is all this? She takes down Morgan and then starts just whooping her ass completely. to the point Deville actually pulls Lana off, holds her up, and she eats a kick from Morgan, which is a shame. So at this point, you sort of realise when it comes back that Sasha Banks has been out on the outside for a long time after that Monica round. A long time. Becky's up and sort of holding onto the apron on the left hand side. On the right hand side, Sasha's kind of prone and out of it and has people checking on her.
Yeah, just go. She just went for a fucking nap. It's fine.
It happens.
She's just cool for the man.
Cool for the man. Number 14, and in her proper ring gear, which I appreciated immensely, was
Michelle McCool.
Again, with the exception of the crowd being super smarky, I really enjoyed seeing Michelle McCool back. And she looked fucking amazing in the gear. And she was a really good job in there, with the exception of like losing her footing at the beginning when she was in there.
Yeah.
She fucking towered over people. It was scary.
Aye. She went on and dominated and getting 4 eliminations in a row. By eliminating Molly Holly, Lana, Sonya Deville, and Liv Morgan.
If it wasn't for the fact that she'd been away from the business for so long and she was doing her personal stuff, you'd almost think that she was coming back.
Yeah. It was, well, they sort of teased it on social media because Charlotte and her had a little bit of a back and forth, and both said they'd like to do it. The crowd obviously chanting Undertaker, but it wasn't like other times we've had that. I honestly thought it was like in a respectful way.
No, absolutely, but like you can see the point of a fact that they're trying to do something for the women alone, and they're getting the male calls for them.
The elimination of Molly, she landed hard on that apron. That looked like it hurt a lot.
Yeah,
that was kind of nasty. Lana's elimination was also quite funny because she screams at McCool like how dare you? And she actually screams, "It's Lana's day!" It's Lana's day for approximately 3 seconds longer than it took her to actually say that.
Yeah.
And off she goes, and number 15 comes along. We're halfway there, and
it's Ruby Riott.
What are you going to say?
Who almost gets eliminated by Michelle McCool immediately. And then almost gets eliminated by Sasha Banks. Then almost gets eliminated by Becky. Literally at 3 sides of the ring, Ruby Riott gets chucked over and she holds onto the ropes. And that's her introduction. Steph is asked who has impressed so far, and Steph just says that she prefers the Women's Royal Rumble. That's her answer.
As I said, the commentary was fucking wank.
Michelle McCool almost gets what I've put down here as the Big Show special, with Sasha Banks sort of holding on to the neck and then sort of pulling her over the top rope job. But it doesn't work. But then
Number 16.
Don't do it.
Excuse me! Oh God, my ears. Vicky Guerrero.
She did shout it too long.
Oh.
But there was a reason why she was.
No, absolutely.
Because she was getting a big face reaction, and Vicky was like, "I'm not having any of this."
No, it's like, I'm returning. And it's like, but you guys are not supposed to be cheering me.
It was really interesting to see how they were going to throw her out, because she can't take a bump. Like,
no, she couldn't.
But she did take an awful bump to the knees. Ooh, ouch.
I'm sure she got plenty of ice when she got back.
Yeah.
What was interesting was an instance of continuity being shit in that Steph seemed quite pleased to see her. And there's absolutely no reason why on earth that Steph should be pleased to see Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah,
because
seen that.
I'm sure Vicky Guerrero. She saw Vicky Guerrero disappearing up the ramp while she was desperately trying to get out of what appeared to be mud or pudding or something, and was closing it. That was the last time that they actually saw each other.
Wasn't she present when they sacked her? When Vince went through the clearing out of Raw?
No, it was in storyline. Basically, was it Vicky Guerrero? Vicky
Doesn't
Guerrero
matter.
had a match and she
Spin
lost,
off.
so she got fired by Stephanie.
Okay, moving
Spin
on.
off.
Yes.
Uh,
Number 17. Well, number 17 was Carmella, who Vicky Guerrero would eventually take her briefcase and smack her over the head with it.
Wonderful.
What's quality?
F-A-B.
Number 18.
H.
I've put here. She was so keen to get the briefcase. Maybe she thought custody papers for Dominic were in there.
Wow.
McCall at this point, actually, McCall also teases the faith breaker on Sasha, which would be interesting because it is the Styles Clash. Doesn't do it.
No.
As well. I rather suspect Sasha would kind of botch that actually.
Break a fucking neck.
No.
Exactly. 18.
Natalia, Queen of Hearts, is in.
Who drops her gear on Carmella and then Carmella gets up and takes Natalia out.
Aye. Sorry?
Well, there was. I didn't say anything, but
All right.
there is a botch there.
All right.
With Becky, whilst they try and sort of. It was super kicks for all except Becky, who tries to go for sort of a grapple thing, and then they dance around for a little bit, trying to figure out who's actually supposed to be going.
Yeah, who's next?
In the ascendancy here, and then it's all a bit of a mess.
Aye.
But don't worry about trying to grab that girl's legs. Here comes somebody who is 100% legs.
What, number 19?
Yes.
Kelly? I thought it was Stacey Keebler that was the legs girl.
Oh, Kelly. It's Kelly's legs that stop her getting eliminated for basically the entirety of the time she's in the Rumble. Just keeps getting thrown into the ropes and just her legs get tangled up in them.
Natalia gets eliminated by who?
Michelle McCool.
Michelle McCool, alright.
Which I've just put there. It felt oddly appropriate from, again, a historical point of view.
Yeah.
But
Oh wait,
never mind.
Natalia eliminates Michelle McCool. Aye, sorry.
I wouldn't call them edited by Natalia yet, which I thought was oddly appropriate because it was like McCool was sort of one of the ones who was the standard bearer, and then sort of the torch was passed of like the senior-ish girl to senior-ish woman. I should say, I do apologise, to Natty as that role.
Number 20, Naomi. The glow is here. And then
Booty to all,
booty to all, and to all a good glow.
except Banks, who gets a kick in the head, which is actually really sick.
Yeah. Who is that? Ruby Riott eliminates Becky Lynch. After that, then number 21, Jacqueline makes her return.
This was an interesting return.
Jacqueline has never worn more clothes wrestling in her life.
Yeah.
They did talk about a lot of Jacqueline's past, which was really nice too.
Yeah, that was nice.
Number 22 was Nia Jax.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. She eliminates.
I just put at this point, Kelly's gonna die.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because she would Nia Jax would eliminate both her and Ruby Riott and Jackie from the match.
Nia gorilla presses Ruby onto the top turnbuckle, and that must have fucking hurt.
Yeah, and Naomi was put onto the barricade, but she turns out to be our Kofi Kingston for our Women's Royal Rumble.
I just put this down as just really.
Yeah. Number 23, the NXT Women's Champion, Ember Moon.
It was interesting to see.
It was.
Again, just like we mentioned earlier on, to be expected.
Yeah. Then was it Nia Jax eventually eliminates Naomi after her brave recovery by taking the one of the announcers' chairs and using it as a pogo, just like how Kofi did like 5 years ago or something like that. I can't remember how long he did that one. Number 24, Beth Phoenix returns.
That was cool. I wasn't expecting it to come back because hasn't she like recently just had a child and everything?
Yep, and Natty eliminates her promptly after.
Oh, the besties hug and
Yeah.
reunite, and then Natty slaps.
And then boom, out. Number 25, Asuka. She's she's in. She's here. She's gonna dominate. She eliminated.
We don't get Asuka versus Beth, which would have been absolutely amazing.
But we did get a rekindling of Asuka versus Ember Moon. They locked eyes and they went at it, and but it would eventually lead to Ember Moon pulling off the Eclipse, but Asuka no soul in it and eliminating Ember Moon afterwards.
Asuka was very funny here. In fact, Asuka was very funny on a couple of occasions, but very obvious just pointing at her own arm, because obviously Ember's arm was just freaking completely wrapped up. And actually, Ember did an interesting thing. Like every move, because her arm was so messed up, every move she hit, she pretty much was screaming. In her own pain, and then Nia Jax just like veal tossed her onto the arm, turned her inside out, and it was like, but Asuka comes in, like I say. Asuka very amused by Ember's injury and takes advantage of it. Does an arm wrench off the top rope when Ember was on the apron, and that's what takes her out.
Yeah. Number 26, Mickie James. Mickie James.
Cole cues up Stephanie to say nice things about Mickie James, and she doesn't.
Of course not.
So Graves sort of like valiantly comes in to try and cover for her, which is a bit awkward.
Number 27, Nikki Bella makes her return, who then eliminates Carmella from the match.
Kamala does the "you can't see me" at Nikki, which is the code for "I'm being eliminated in about 4 seconds."
Then number 28, Brie Bella. Why not? Number 29, Bayley makes her appearance. And
I was fully expecting her. The amount of time that she spent at the top of that ramp, I was fully expecting her to do a proper entrance, and I think she was a bit like, "Oh,
I don't have my inflatable buddies here.
My friends aren't here."
And then finally, our number 30 entrant is the returning Trish Stratus.
Oh, it's time to rock and roll. This time, I'm in control.
I'm sorry, I must interrupt this information about Trish Stratus to say, did you know she was inducted into the Hall of Fame by the Stephanie McMahon?
No.
It was literally just like, it's like, yes, but she was inducted by the Hall of Fame. Do you know who she's inducted by the Hall of Fame? Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon is next to me. I mean, not next to me, because obviously that would make Pete Stephanie McMahon. But in which case, you have a lot to answer for.
I preferred it when my boobs were a bit smaller.
Yeah. Don't let Jericho know that. Yes. Yes, and apparently she did some other stuff as well.
Shocking.
In her career, before her highlight of being introduced to the Hall of Fame by Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah. Although I did enjoy the Trish and the Mickie throwback, which they very quickly had to get off camera.
Yeah.
I think she was doing. I think she was like doing. Like
she went like that.
7 for 20.
But
she was doing that and that, which I thought was like 20. She was like trying to do 27 for 7 for 27 or 7 year or whatever it was. Yeah. But yeah, I have literally just wrote here. Trish sees Mickie and we actually get a standoff between them. They actually acknowledge this. I am begging one of them to lick their hands so Vince has a conniption. Yeah. punches all over the place. Mickey counters the stratosphere, which actually
Stratisfaction.
The Stratisfaction.
Stratosphere.
Is it fear?
Stratosphere is the handstand, and
Oh,
Stratisfaction
the
is
bulldog.
Bulldog. All right, yeah.
Stratisfaction Bulldog.
Mickey counters, says not today, and then proceeds to get shit kicked off the top and is eliminated.
Yep.
Trish celebrates this fact by being absolutely decapitated by Nia Jax.
Yep.
Yeah, that was stiff. Is all I can say for that. Everyone gets on Nia Jax. Nia Jax does the Big Show power out because we're a monster.
Yep.
They've done a lot in this Rumble with Nia Jax to make her look like the Big Show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oscar gets a spin kick on Nia, which sort of staggers her a bit, into another chick kick by Trish, and then everyone teams up, and Nia Jax is eliminated.
Yep.
Yes.
In the afterglow of this celebration, Sasha grabs the fuck out of Bayley and eliminates her, and is so pleased about that. It's continuing the slow burn of her heel turn.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't
By slow burn, you mean the embers which have sat there for the last 12 months? Yeah.
Yeah, slowly but surely we have the first.
We will get a spark eventually.
And all the way through, Graves was saying, "It's like, ha, there you go. See, it's again Sasha Banks stabbing her friends in the back. Who is it always, Sasha?" And Cole and Stephanie going, "What are you talking about? You've just got a problem with Sasha Banks." And Graves going, "No, I've not got a problem with Sasha Banks, apart from the fact she betrays everybody." So yeah, Bayley is a sad puppy on the outside, and Sasha's like,
So, whatever. Every woman
woman
for herself.
Exactly.
Was it Trish then eliminates Natty afterwards
but
quite well.
There's a beautiful shot though, where because she has the sharpshooter on Trish, and there's this wonderful shot of Trish is screaming in agony but Natty is transfixed on the WrestleMania sign with quite a look of like determination, fierce.
It's like I'm wanting to go to WrestleMania.
It is a great shot, and actual praise to Kevin Dunn on this one for getting that right, and for Nelly and Trish, obviously. But yeah, at that point, everything kind of slowed down a bit, but Trish is still in for the time being.
Yep. But then.
Banks gets into it with Trish, talks a lot of trash.
Yep.
Trish mocks the boss, goes for the Stratisfaction, but Banks counters and sort of whoops her over the top.
Yep.
And that's her out. Sasha's pleased at this, backs into Asuka. Asuka does the boss taunt, which is absolutely fucking hilarious because it's right in Sasha's face. Incidentally, see her antics with Miz if you ever get the chance to. Any of the WWE videos. It is absolutely hilarious. Those two.
Is the mixed match stuff up on the network, perchance?
Yes. Yes. They basically air on the day after it's aired on Facebook Watch.
But also go on YouTube.com/WWE because you'll get a lot of like the backstage segments with the two of them and the interviews and stuff, and all sorts of bits around the place. But it's just freaking hilarious, the pair of them, honestly. Oscar, we get for the second time that evening. Oscar's gonna kill you, chance. Except that Banks sort of acknowledges it and kind of grimaces in a way, like oh gee, thanks. To the crowd. Oscar suggests an alliance to kill the Bellas instead.
Yeah.
Banks though hits her, and Graves again continues his assassination that Banks just betrays people. Everyone stomps the crap out of Oscar with Banks sort of stepping back a bit.
Yeah.
It's almost like people were ready for Asuka.
Well, it's obviously the final four here is the Bella Twins and Sasha Banks and Asuka.
Yeah, which is it's funny you say that, Pete, because it's during this whole process that Sasha slaps Asuka in the corner, yells that she is ready for Asuka. She sets her up for the double knee stomp when they're laying across the second rope, but the Bellas catch her mid move and toss her over the top.
Yep.
Because the evil Bellas. Or something.
Yeah.
Slightly evilish.
It's slightly evilish.
Bellas go for elimination. Asuka screams at both of them and starts doing yes-style kicks to the pair of them.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was hilarious.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Nikki gets her head caved in, and then Brie does too. Asuka tries to toss Brie over the top rope, but she holds on. Nikki takes out Asuka, but Brie's struggling to get back in. Brie instantly had a really good react. Nikki came out to sort of like, and Brie, when she came out, was more welcomed by the Philly crowd, the yes chants and everything, and people were well into it because the yes chants have kind of transferred over to Brie as well, and it's sort of more accepted for some reason. I don't put that in that. Nikki got John Cena sucks chanted at her.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nikki knocks Brie off the apron, betraying her yet again. Yet again, it was Nikki who betrayed.
I'm sure that will come up in Total Bellas season 3.
It's an angle for Total Bellas and Total Divas apparently.
Yeah.
Nikki hits a beautiful disaster kick. Which I've put, that'll teach Cody to only say good things about Brie when live tweeting Total Divas. Because that was a thing that happened. Nikki heaves up Asuka onto the top, over the rope, onto the apron. There's a hard elbow, but Asuka hangs on. Nikki charges in. Asuka catches her, then uses her leg to pull Nikki backwards over the top rope, and oh my god, what are you doing? The woman has a very bad neck.
Yeah.
That was just very cringe-inducing.
It wasn't.
She lands on the apron hard. Nikki drills Asuka with a punch. I mean, she really waffles a one. Asuka then on the apron does sort of a kip-up kick that takes out Nikki's legs from under her. She is eliminated, and Asuka, not Langley Soyu, wins the Royal Rumble. The first. Nobody is ready for Asuka. Not 30 people, but the champs are in, and Asuka stands between them. She looks at each of them grinning. Who will she pick? Who will she pick, Pete?
She doesn't pick anybody.
Indeed. Why is that?
Because WWE thought it'd be brilliant to hype up a history-making match of 30 women, and as they kept reminding us throughout the match, whenever Stephanie was asked if any of these had unique histories, and it's just a history for everybody. So how did they choose to decide to make this history-making match end? She'll ask her, look at WrestleMania. Yeah, that's cool. And then they'll get both the women in there, and instead of having any of the female interviewers come down, either of them, JoJo or help me out here, boys.
Renee Young.
JoJo or Renee come down, just talk to them and see like which one she wants to go for. And bring out fucking Ronda fucking Rousey, who's been fucking rumored to be making her WWE debut forever. Everybody was expecting her to be in the Rumble. She flew in from doing whatever fucking movie she's been doing. And then nobody knows about this except unless your name was a McMahon or fucking Kevin Dunn. Nobody knew she was coming down. So you've got bewilderment from 3 people in the ring. The commentary team haven't got a fucking clue what's going on. Everybody loses their junk when they see the Rousey name on there. And then she comes down and puts everything into disarray by pointing at the WrestleMania sign.
Okay. She keeps doing that, by the way.
3 times. 3 times she did it.
But she's been clearly trained as to how to point.
Yeah.
Because every time she ended up making the same face, which she was like doing a sort of a really.
Sorry, I didn't do the face right. It was like
Sort of a Kenneth Williams
Fucking-
like, she had a face that made it look like the WrestleMania sign, something stunk in the arena. Something stunk in the arena, and it's that. The WrestleMania sign stinks.
it's fucking wank.
It's your catchphrase
Yo,
now.
No,
it's your
it's-
catchphrase now.
It's look. I understand they want to do it, but doing it off the back of a not
The first
brilliant
ever
Rumble,
Royal Rumble for the women, yeah.
like doing it off the back of a Rumble match where, unfortunately, now this is my problem with this match going on last, is the fact that everybody knew Asuka was going to win it. There is no way that she cannot get to that belt right now without being undefeated. It just can't happen. So
Well, they did leave the caveat in that she had lost the Battle Royal before, but that she'd never been pinned or submitted because she lost the Battle Royal in NXT.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Like, as it stands, she won't get to that title without being defeated. So she's going to go on. She's probably going to take on Bliss. No. But, I mean, she's probably going to take on Bliss at Mania. That's probably how it's going to go. And it's going to leave Charlotte free. I haven't seen SmackDown. I've heard there was a cash-in. I don't know the result of that. Fuck knows what's going on.
There was an attempted cash-in. And then Carmella was like, "Oh shit, she's moving. Oh shit, she's got up. Perhaps I won't do this today."
What should have happened is, in my opinion, the match that should have been on last should have been the men's Royal Rumble.
True. Because
Keep
that
it
had more energy to it, I believe.
I think Ronda coming out would have been a pop, and it would have been better to end Mania. Better to end the Rumble, without such confusion in the air, because at least they could have played off the confusion that would have been on social media with, well, yeah, she's just announced that she's going to do something in Mania. Apparently, according to the fucking rumor mill sheet, she's not even having a match for any of the belts at Mania, and it's going to be something with Stephanie and Triple H and some sort of thing.
Well, they set that up a
2
couple
years
of
ago.
Manias back, didn't they?
Yep.
Because they had the whole thing with her going out of the ring and shaking hand, heading for Stephanie, offering the handshake, which was accepted. So
But
it ends up. So the entirety of the Royal Rumble for women ends up. So it's not just the 30 people who are in the match; it's the people who were not able to be in the match and the 2 champions. So even if you don't count all the people not in the match in the back or what have you, 32 women. Being not about that at all, it ends up being about Ronda Rousey.
It ends up being about one person.
Yeah.
One person is what this has come down to. And you could have assuaged so much confusion by saying, by having that in the middle of the match and then saying, this shock moment happened. We don't know what's going to happen, And then you could have gone, apparently it will all be explained on Raw tomorrow. Done. Sorted. Confusion ends. She's not getting a title shot at Mania. Fucking, you could have answered that straight on, and then you could have gone through it. Then you would have had the 2 title matches, which would probably have got some fucking pop because, all right, it was a decent Rumble. It was a watch-worthy Rumble, but you haven't exhausted your fucking people. You haven't exhausted your crowd. And they would have popped for that, and then they would have still gone in for that last match. Because the Royal Rumble is going to build hype regardless.
I mean, what you ended up with the WWE by doing this, and WWE are complicit in accepting this as acceptable, in that you said that in the historic event with the very, very first Women's Royal Rumble, the most important thing to take away from this is that somebody not with the company or not known to not be associated with the company until now is more important than what you've just witnessed.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm going to find a tweet that I'm going to hope you can put into the actual overlay at the end, if I can find the fucking thing, because it was something that Nia Jax posted. I think it might have come down by now.
No, because there's a few. I know the one you're talking about though. And also Nikki said some stuff as well.
Yeah, and there was a quote from Sasha Banks as well.
There we go. I found it. So I hope you put this in the end thing, because I'm going to put it in our Discord chat. But it's basically Nia puts down. She puts down about the fact of, cool, Ronda's here. 30 women making history can just be forgotten, because they made it all about, even the post stuff they've made about Ronda rather than the Rumble, and that's the most depressing thing of all. Like, you've ended your pay-per-view badly by marring it in confusion. You've ended your Rumble badly because A, Asuka hasn't chosen who she wants to fight, and B, you've ended it with this Rousey thing who's going, cool, I'll be at Mania, but she's done it at a point of where the championships haven't been decided. Yeah. At least let Asuka choose which belt she wants to go for, and then have Ronda's music hit.
Considering that they clearly didn't know. Because just look at all those faces in the ring. Charlotte looks sort of like amused. I like that Oscar slapped the hand away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put it past Oscar just beating the shit out of Ronda Rousey.
What's that fucking moment?
For the insult.
Yeah.
Just for the sheer insult of coming out. But you said about about the post stuff about everything. Yes, because we had Raw immediately after. We don't normally talk about when we do these. We don't normally talk about the.
We mention when we're generally recording.
We occasionally touch them. We don't really mention it. But the one of the post-production things was Ronda's thoughts on.
Oh, really?
On thing, and that's what Nikki pointed out. It was like, and she said, "Hey, what about I guess 30 other people's thoughts?
Yeah,
aren't really worth anything, as opposed to somebody who wasn't in the match at all." But let's go back over this year though, or this wrestling calendar year, let's say. So we've had the very, very first Women's Royal Rumble, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then they spoiled it at the end. Mm-hmm. We had the very, very first Women's Money in the Bank, which was great. And then they spoiled it right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see a pattern here?
Yeah.
WWE management and writers.
So are you telling me that the Elimination Chamber that's gonna be coming up, the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber, is gonna be great, but it's gonna have a very bad end to it?
I am willing to bet it'll end on a disqualification or a no contest.
I want fucking Nia Jax to destroy everybody and get a championship match.
I wanted to do that and destroy the chamber as well. Frankly, I want to start tearing it apart.
I want to see her throw somebody through that plexiglass.
She, you know what? It'll end up being Bliss.
Maybe.
It'll end up being again her bestie Bliss. I mean, she's absolutely nothing, which will make it look even better, and Bliss would be up for it.
What do you reckon the better championship match going to be? Do you reckon it's going to be Asuka versus Charlotte or Asuka versus Bliss?
Asuka versus Charlotte, so you can have Nia versus Bliss. Because we kind of broke up Bliss and Nia and then put them back together again very forcibly.
Wow.
Like, oh crap, we've done this too soon.
I mean, it's a good thing that they've tried to put them back together, especially with what's happened with the other Nia Jax storyline and the person that shall not be named.
What's interesting, actually, what might play into the Nia Bliss thing if it happens, is actually Braun Strowman.
Because Braun and Alexa are a thing at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, on the mixed tag team.
And Bliss is kind of coming around to the idea is coming around to the idea of, hey, it's quite nice to have this hulking.
I'm reminded.
He looks kind of cute.
I'm reminded of the chipmunk and the banana gif.
Yeah. But it's like, how do you protect yourself from Nia Jax? It's like one of the few people that could protect you from Nia Jax is Braun.
But the problem is Braun's going to have his own shit to do at Mania.
Yes, which is why it won't work, and which is why you get Bliss, Bliss banking on that being her save that house salvation, and then Braun just going no.
I'm hoping the mixed match stuff stays in its own continuity, but
it might do.
That was the Royal Rumble 2018. Mr. Shinsuke Naka-Finley, give us your score.
Well, it was overall, it was a decent show. Except for the end, obviously, very controversial with how they wanted to end the show, and of course the dead matches after the men's rumble and whatnot didn't do it justice. So, in all of that, I am going to give this a 8 out of 10. Because I really did like the men's Royal Rumble a lot, and I did like the SmackDown matches quite a bit as well. Particularly the WWE Championship match, and I did like the Universal Championship match a lot as well. And I did like a little bit of the, women's Rumble as well. But of course, some of the problem points was that of the both tag matches. I felt, could have been better and whatnot. And of course, the dead crowd didn't help. Well, the crowd didn't help in many other cases. But yeah. But I still think a solid 8, at least. I feel that is suitable.
Kevin, the Kevin Eva. I'm interested because I feel that you're slightly conflicted on this one, like I am.
Yeah. Because at face value, it was a good pay-per-view. At face value, it was a very good event. And yet, there's lots of good, really good stuff in there. I think a lot of the storylines were continued in actually a very natural way. I don't think there's anything really forced, which is very un-WWE. Normally, it's just like, hey, look at this, you see this is important going forward. And I did think that actually happened for once, and that's very good. There were some very good matches and some very good action going on. You get a little bit of rose-tinted glasses with the Rumble just because you get lots of people coming back and surprises, and that's exacerbated by the Women's Rumble because we had just had so many people coming back because the roster for women isn't big enough, and it was always down as being that.
Plus,
there's lots of people we haven't seen in a very long time as well, which is a little bit. I just think the missteps with stuff, it would be an 8 for me. It would be. I just can't get over, though, how big and sort of damaging to sort of things, or how easily it could be so much better, and the decisions made in other stuff
have made it so much worse
that it can take it down. I'm gonna say 7.5, but it's sort of with the caveat that it doesn't. I'm not taking the pre-show here because otherwise it'd be around about 3. So
it's a big mark for an hour and a half pre-show.
Yeah,
a big knockdown slide.
You guys, you didn't watch it.
For good reason.
I'm gonna say to that. This is my punishment for the last minute kick out. I watched the pre-show. I just think it's better than previous years. Good steps forward, but as always, it's 1 step forward,
2 steps back.
And for them to cock up the end of that so ridiculously, and to, you know, if your main thing is going to be this history making thing, and it arguably delivers, and then you basically go, yes, by the way, this is more important.
Mm-hmm.
You undermine it entirely. Like I said, I just can't ignore that. So it's a 7.5. It should be an 8, with a couple of literally a couple of tweaks here, there, down the card. Like one decision flipped. Either way, it would have been 8.5 easy. 7.5.
I agree with the points that both of you have made. It's hard because it is a very good pay-per-view. It's one of the best main brand pay-per-views we've had for a while. It's one of the best Rumbles we've had in years. I think the decisions made on everything, the placing of where certain matches were on the card, and just the fucking wank commentary and the decisions, and just some of the choices mar it too much. Like the thing with everything in life is that you will always remember everything that's bad compared to everything that's good. And I think that this Rumble will always be marred with the fact of its bad points compared to how good the pay-per-view was. It will always be the Rumble with the history-making first female Royal Rumble, but it will be marred by the fact that Ronda Rousey came out and just confused the living fuck out of everybody. It'll be confused by the fact that the card would just be better paced with having the Rumble switched round. It will be marred by the fact that because they exhausted the crowd too early, that they just weren't hyped for anything. Like, fuck it, start with a Rumble out the gate. Don't give a fuck. Just go. You know? Yeah, sorted. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get everybody hype, and you can do it suitably. That have the women's on first. You know, they get hyped straight out of the gate. That's why the championship match was there, and it did the job. It hypes people up. They've tried it before. They've done it when they're trying to build ratings against other shows, and they put a championship match on first to get those viewers in, and it gets the crowd hype and everything else. Do it with a Rumble. Have a Rumble on first if you're going to do two of it. You confuse too much. I'm going to be a bit harsher and give it a 7. Good pay-per-view. Definitely watch again. Too many down points to bring it down, I think. But in saying that, any last words before we look forward to Elimination Chamber and the 2 Elimination Chamber matches?
That I would agree with what you were saying. I think that whatever we've had previously in terms of a pay-per-view where there's been a specific gimmick, be it Hell in a Cell, be it tables, ladders and chairs, be it Money in the Bank, be it Elimination Chamber,
Survivor Series,
or Survivor Series, when you've got a gimmick pay-per-view, and Royal Rumble is a gimmick pay-per-view, one of those things is the cherry on the cake.
Mm-hmm.
2 of those things, you have 2 cherries and you're wondering where the rest of your cake has gone. It's too much. It's too much of something. And once you've had the one thing, you'll be looking at the other and going, oh, I'm not sure.
I think it works better when the match isn't an hour long. Like that's like saying I'm gonna come up with I'm gonna call my next pay-per-view Iron Man, and we have Iron Man matches out the fucking wazoo. Whether it's like a female 30-minute Iron Woman match or a male 60-minute Iron Man match, it's too much. It literally is. Now, I find it's okay because at least with 30-minute matches on a 3-hour pay-per-view, there's a lot more you can sprinkle in between. A 4-hour pay-per-view with 2 of those hours taken up by 2 Rumbles and 4 matches in between is too much. You're asking for a lot of attention, especially for 4 hours.
And Vince McMahon himself has said that watching a football game that lasts for like 3 hours,
Which is why he wants to bring the XFL back, which is shorter.
Watching something on television for like 3 hours or so is really a tough ask for people, which is why he's got an episodic television show every Monday, which does the exact same thing and has like 20-hour pay-per-views and 174-day WrestleManias or whatever.
I hope you're looking forward to a 5-hour WrestleMania with another 3-hour pre-show.
And all the stuff the day before.
Oh, dear.
Turbo, any last thoughts? We've heard a lot from myself and Kev.
I can understand your frustration, guys, but yeah, I mean, I'm apparently a lot more laxing to
the mark. Everybody,
yeah, I am the mark. Yes, but no, I can understand. I can understand where you guys are coming from. It's kind of obvious, and I can. I have had those feelings where I felt like I've been sincerely bamboozled with how they, set up a program and whatnot, and just made it way too lengthy and gimmicky, and the gimmicky pay-per-views, as you said, Phil, Pete, are just overblown and can get very bad. So I can understand that, but I was able to see the bright side of this situation more so than the annoyance of certain things and whatnot. But of course,
because it gives us a difference of opinion. We have three guys who watch the product for three very different reasons. One of us enjoyed it back in the day, getting back into it. One of us is the full mark that watches the entire product, and the other one is slightly smarky and in between who's watched it continuously. We all have different reasons, and I think we got
smarks here.
Lies. I think the take here. Fuck off. I think the takeaway point is it's an enjoyable pay-per-view, but there are obviously very obvious missteps that have been made, especially in the latter half of the PPV. And we can only hope that they learn from those mistakes going forward. They certainly have done with the Rumble finally after 2, 3, 4 years. Who knows? We might be looking forward to a really blockbuster WrestleMania, which, WrestleMania, they pull out all the stops anyway, but we've still got the Chamber and we've still got the fast lane to WrestleMania to go.
I hope we do get a blockbuster WrestleMania because we know that the audience will applaud for blockbusters.
Well, they'll also go bankrupt just like Blockbuster. Anyway, I have been Pete Titans Creed Nethercoat, always joined by John Turbo Finley, Mr. Kevin Eva. We have been the Beard World Order. This has been Last Minute Kickout. As always, on Last Minute Continue, Mr. Kevin will have all the social details underneath our names and all the details of the product. You know where we are. We're on YouTube. We're on iTunes. We're on the Last Minute Continue website. We're on YouTube. Everywhere. Find us on our social media if you want to talk more about this, or comment down below. We do read everything. And we will see you next time.
Thanks, Steph.